For many application developers, the reality is that you have to pass in configurations at runtime, whether they are secrets, plain text, environment variables, parameters, whatever the case may be. You typically have to pass in something for your application. Now, a lot of the times people are storing environment files in source control, they're pulling them for CI/CD, or maybe even they're using the native variables inside of their CI/CD platform. That's a lot of configuration sprawl. Like, everything is all over the place. With CloudTruth, you don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at a really quick example. Now, I have a project called dev test, and I have a parameter called who. So if I head over to VS Code really quick, I'm going to show you an old way that we would be passing in this parameter, and then I'm going to show you the new way with CloudTruth. So if we take a look at this code, very straightforward. I'm pretty much just printing out hello from whatever value that I pass in at runtime. So really the logic of the code is on line 15. So if I run main.go, and then I specify, test, well, I can see it says hello from test. I can change this and it says Mike. Now here's a problem with that. Well, actually there's a few problems. Number one, you have to pass in values at runtime for each environment. So dev, staging, UAT, QA, prod, however many environments you have. And not to mention, you have to know what those values are, know where to save them, pass them in via source control, or pass them in via CI/CD, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of configuration sprawl there. It's all your values are in different places. But with CloudTruth, we don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and see what this is going to look like in CloudTruth. Now, the way that CloudTruth essentially works on the CLI is it'll pull the value, well, the key rather, from CloudTruth with an environment variable. So notice here how I'm using the OS library, I'm using the getEnv function, and then inside of that function, I am calling who. So who is the parameter that exists inside of CloudTruth. So if I go ahead and if I use this command, which is the CloudTruth CLI, I'm specifying my project, the environment can be development or whatever you want, and then I'm specifying the run flag to run our script. Oop, actually wrong directory, cd new way, let's do that again. Now as you can see, I have the output of Mike Levan. So if we go ahead and we go back, we can see here that that's the environment value. Now you may be asking yourself, well, that's just one environment. What about other environments? And that's a great question. So if I go into my parameter here, and let's say I override this value for production to just call it Mike Prod. All right, then I go back to VS Code, and then I change my environment to production. Then I go ahead and I run that, and notice how our value is now up to date. So this is of course a very straightforward example, and you can do the same thing in Python or JavaScript or whatever language that you would like. But if you have anything that you need to pass in at runtime, you can not only store it in CloudTruth, but you can pull that value from CloudTruth.